Hey guys, it's your Fuzz and welcome back to another Stardew Valley video. Today's mid-game strats can definitely assist those who are nearly or have completed the community center or the Judgment program, or to those who want to better their skills so they can have a better, efficient gameplay. Let's start with our first tip for today. And this is a great tip if you haven't gotten level 10 on all your levels yet. Now, did you know when you level up in any of your skills, that the next day, no matter if you're exhausted or not, your energy bar will be fully replenished? Now, how is that going to help you? This could definitely assist those earlier on if you find yourself in the mines a lot. Let's say you've drained your energy completely and you've exhausted yourself for that day. Generally, when you do head to bed, only half of your energy will be replenished for the next day. But when you level up in any of your 5 skills, your energy will fully be replenished. This can definitely assist those at the beginning or midway through their skills. If you're not sure if you've leveled up for that day, check your skills tab. Anytime you level up for the day, you can actually see a colored bar change, even before heading to bed. So then why not use the day to exhaust yourself, because the next day when you do end up leveling up, your energy bar will be filled to the top. Number 2 is the use of crab pots. Now, if you're someone that enjoys himself in the mines, farming, or even in the skull cavern, fishing is usually something you leave to the side. In most gameplays, I've seen people rush themselves to get to level 10 of fishing and never fish again. But let's say you're not at fishing level 10, but you don't feel like fishing for the day. You can either craft them or purchase them from Willy for 1500 gold each. Each collection of a crab pot will earn you 5 XP in your fishing skill. It isn't much XP, but obviously the more crab pots you get, the more XP you get per day. Plus, you won't have to use your energy to gain that XP as well. This can definitely assist in getting you to level 10, to complete the crab pot bundle if you're doing the community center, and to get you random fish that you can use in recipes or to sell as well. You can choose to go with Trapper at level 5 and Lore Master at level 10 so that crab pots don't require bait. Plus, you can also use a recycling machine for any of the trash that you get from these crab pots. Recycling machines are underrated. They can definitely assist in getting you more coal, more stone, and even refined quartz. So definitely keep that in mind. Number 3 is upgrading your bin. Now, of course, you've upgraded your tools, but why not upgrade your bin as well? It uses half the amount of gold to upgrade at each level and can return you a percentage of that product you toss in your bin. Obviously, the higher the upgrade, the more return you get. And this can definitely be utilized if you're doing something as tough as the skull cavern and you don't have enough backspace for certain items. If you want to capitalize on the items you do get in Skull Cavern, and you're getting items that you don't have the space for but you do want to use to sell, upgrading your trash can definitely assist in that. Obviously, you won't get the full return of that item, but it's better than getting nothing out of that item. So be sure to get yourself to the iridium quality so you can get 60% of your gold return for that item. Next up, if you're not doing this already, preserve or keg your fruits and your veggies. Placing a fruit or a veggie into a preserve jar doubles the base value of that item. Placing your normal or silver quality fruits and veggies into a preserve jar will have a better gold return rather than selling them. However, kegs will triple the gold return you get from a fruit and a 2.25 base return for your veggies. So instead of straight up selling them to make yourself even more money, preserve jars and your kegs will make you even more money. So, to ensure that you're getting a better gold return, ensure that you're using your preserve jars and your kegs. Next up is the reset mine trick if you need yourself more ore. Now, if you're running low on some ore and some coal, and you prefer not buying them from Clint, especially in your second year since the value of those ores and coals have increased, then why not do the reset mine trick? If you need yourself more copper ore, head into level 20 of the mines, head on down and find yourself some copper here. Once you're done, head back out and that will reset the mines, meaning you can return to level 20 and to 21, and the mine floor should look completely different. You should use this strat for also iron ore and coal on level 40, and for gold ore, use level 80. Obviously, there's other ways to obtain them, but to save you some time going into the mines too often, this can be a quick way to get yourself some ore. Very simple trick that you can do, and it's been suggested to do that on level 1 of Skull Cavern if you want iridium ore. I will be trying that, but I believe the odds of getting iridium ore, especially on level 1, is not going to be easy. Rather, check out this video if you need yourself some iridium ore and how you can capitalize on your day in Skull Cavern. On the topic of going to Skull Cavern, if you are heading to the desert for the day, why not pick up some of the coconut and the cactus fruit that can be found as forages and place them in preserve jars? Every time you find yourself going to the desert, why not place down some preserve jars and place in there any of your coconut and cactus fruit? It's not going to have too much gold return, but if you've got some spare inventory space, why not save it for the coconuts and the cactus fruit? Quick tip, now this might not help you mid-game too much, but by now you should have fences all over your farm. If you find yourself running around on your farm during the night and relying on your glow ring, but it's not enough lighting, instead of using the space on your farm to provide lighting, why not place a torch onto your fence? This is a cute little aesthetic tip that you can do to pretty up your fences and also utilize them at the fullest. Number 7 is your love points with your villagers. Now you might not be capitalizing on your love points with your villagers, but an important tip is to actually buy a calendar from Robin, which is super cheap, and you can place it on the walls within your cabin. In doing so, you won't need to run into Pelican Town to know when someone's birthday is coming up. The reason I mention this is when you give someone a loved gift on their birthday, you get 8 times the amount of love points you would get when handing that same item on a normal day. Plus, the quality of that loved or liked gift will affect the amount of love points you get. So a normal quality liked or loved gift will give a base love value of 80 points. But an iridium quality of that same liked or loved item is 1.5 times more better than the base quality, meaning it'll be 120 points instead. So utilize this if you're trying to unlock all the recipes through the villages, or if you're just trying to rush loving someone. Whilst on the topic of Robin, while you're buying your calendar there, why not also buy a telephone there? Generally, the telephone doesn't have much use except if you want to know when opening hours are for a certain store. But in the 1.5 update, when you kill 150 magma sprites for the Adventure Guild's monster eradication goal, Guild will reward you with Marlin's telephone number. And this can be used to actually call Marlin at any point of the day, so you can actually recover any of your items that you might have lost the day before from the mines or the Skull Cavern. So no more waiting until midday to go and talk to Marlin to retrieve your items. You can just pick up the phone at 6 AM and recover one of your items for the next day. Next up, if you are playing solo, this is going to be a great tip for you. The ability to pause time. Now, how is that going to help anyone? Now, let's say you're doing a Skull Cavern run, for example, and you head on down the level, but you're not sure if you should use your bombs at the beginning or later on in that floor. Whenever you head down a ladder or a hole, why not open up your inventory, and this will pause time. You can utilize this to scan the floor that you're on. See if it's something that you would prefer to use your bombs on or a staircase, and to prepare you for any enemies that might be ready to attack you. You can scan the room to utilize your bomb placements. And while you're at it, why not go into your settings and turn down your zoom to 75%? That way you can have a much greater view of your floor. Time is very important in Stardew Valley. So if you're finding yourself running around town, why not instead build yourself a stable and use the horse instead to travel around? Or why not buy a coffee from the Stardrop Saloon to gain yourself +1 speed? Better yet, why not buy the triple shot espresso recipe from the Stardrop Saloon and turn your coffees into espressos? That will give you +1 speed, but for longer compared to the coffees. You can also use Spicy Ill or any other speed buff in that way. Utilize speed by having 1 food and 1 drink item, as they can both be consumed and both buffs will be active at the same time. Then why not look into optimizing your coop in your barn? Sometimes you'll get random animals in there during your playthrough. If you're utilizing your cows and your goats for their milk to make cheese, it will be best to use the cows instead of the goats, as the goats will produce you milk every second day, whereas cows will produce you milk daily. In saying that, the longer you have a cow, the better the milk will be and the better the cheese will be. Do the same thing for a coop, for example. Why not replace your normal chickens with a void chicken instead? And be sure if you do have a barn with pigs to ensure that the door is open so they can produce you truffles daily, except for winter, of course. A term that is commonly used by speedrunners or those who have played Stardew Valley for a long time is min-maxing. It might be something that casual players won't utilize too much, but if you are taking your farm seriously and want to utilize the income that you're making or where you're using your resources, it will be best to ensure that every item that you bring to the farm and everything that you sell is of its best quality. For example, there's no need to buy parsnip seeds if you can purchase rhubarb seeds instead. The payout is way more efficient. The payout is way more better compared to the parsnips. Better yet, turning them both into wines will equal even more money for you. There's no stress about this if you're playing casually or if you play Stardew for the first time, but ensure that the further you progress in your Stardew Valley gameplay, that you're better utilizing items and purchasing the right things for your farm. Practice makes perfect in Stardew Valley, so don't stress yourself if you haven't done most of the things that I've mentioned. It is a good way to best utilize your farm, so be sure that you're on your way to do so. And guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, definitely comment it down below, and if you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like. I will see you next time, guys. Take care.